Is what it do. Dun 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 dun. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? How's everybody doing today? I'm your boy, Mr. Dropping Dimes, a.k.a. the hopeful romantic, a.k.a. the feminist with chauvinist tendencies. And I'm super excited, and I'm here on episode 7, season 2 of the Hopeful Romantic podcast. I got a really cool show for you today. Um, I got a character, man. I call this guy, he's one of the most unique people I know and I've ever met. And I could go anywhere, whether it was in college, whether it was across the country, whether it was another country. And I promise you, this guy is one of the most unique thinkers you will ever meet. He always has a very unique perspective. He pulls no punches. What I love about him, I call him Teddy No Filter because he's gonna give it to you exactly how he wants to. He's not gonna package it. He's not. I'm more of a person that's gonna deliver it nice and let me be nice. He's gonna let you have it, let you know how it is. He's one of my favorite people. I've known him for years, and one of the things that I absolutely love about him is that again he doesn't have. He's gonna tell you his honest feelings. He's not gonna pull any punches. And the beauty of it is today we get to discuss some of the current topics. So the name of today's episode is Simping Ain't Easy. And we're talking about simps, ladies and gentlemen. But before I do that, I want to welcome, let me see, my man, Teddy No Filter himself, a.k.a. Tyson Garcia.
Yo, what up, man? It's a pleasure, Mike. Like you said, it's a pleasure to be here, man. Thank you for having on your podcast. Like we spoke earlier, you're doing great, man. Much love to you and your best-selling novel book. It's a simp book, but nonetheless, bestseller, good book. What is it? Deep box, small cock.
Deep box all
Nah, congratulations on that, man. Also, congratulations, you two, with the Love Lounge about sports, which I truly enjoy. With you,
Awesome.
Jen, Javi, and Pablo, and Dre, and Sean, which is doing amazing. And I tune in when I can to get different perspectives on, just with sports and everybody's equally fair, non-biased, which is great.
Appreciate it, man.
Man, I'm just excited to be on here, bro. I'm ready to go, bro. You know what it is, man. We go back.
Go.
Jets Cowboys 1988.
Jets Cowboys 1988, man. Yeah, we do go back, bro. We go back. This is 30 years in the making.
Absolutely.
Listen, what do you call it? When this topic came up, right, I said to myself, I've always watched how you post and some of the things you say, especially when you see guys in this kind of character, this kind of this day and age when they're doing real. First of all, let's do this. What's your definition of a simp for those of people out there that don't know what that is?
Okay, well, for me growing up, and we're a lot older than like the new generation, the millennials. Back then, a simp was a simpleton, like almost like how we grew up, like a herb, like a sucker.
Right.
It's same a little bit, but it's the different dynamics because sometimes people will be like, if you're in a relationship, oh, he's a simp, he's simping for his lady, he buys her this, he buys her that, he's bending over backwards, and for me, that's not a simp. That's your lady, your wife, your girlfriend from a long time. That's very different from being in a relationship the first 3 to 6 months, even a year. So I don't categorize that as being a simp. Yeah,
I'm glad you separated that because that's like one of the myths. Like for instance, people call Russell Wilson a simp, right? You're like, yo, that's his wife, that's his longtime wife, those his children, that's his family. What he does for them, I kind of like separate that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And the mainstream media not mainstream media, but like a lot of guys on the internet, they want to call him a simp. And I'm like, I don't think you got that right, man. Yeah. I'm more in line with what you're saying, saying when it comes to a simp. You know what I mean? Like, you're a sucker. You just got there, bro. And you're really like bending over backwards. You're really like on that level where you're just kind of, sucking toes like that. Yo, like, are you really? Come on, man.
Absolutely.
Get some balls.
To touch base on a Russell Wilson thing, I'm like, hold on, wait a second. I'm like, how is he a simp? Women, right, strive. He's like a traditional man, right?
Right.
So then how is he a simp? Because women, when they were young, right, like Sleeping Beauty. You have all these princesses, knight in shining armor. He's like one of those guys. So how is he a simp? The difference is today is, right, women want traditional men, but they're not traditional themselves.
Right.
So that for real, so that's another story for another day. But for me, a simp is a guy who's a sucker. Like she calls you, like you're always available. Like she
I
calls you at
always say
any
there's a
time.
fine
She
line.
has a flat tire. She needs groceries, rent paid, someone to cry the shoulder on. And what you're doing is you're trying to manipulate the situation to get out of that friend zone to get the box. That's what you're trying to do. Trying to be with her because then you know what? Then you feel that you're at a different status now since you got her. But newsflash, bro, a lot of other dudes had her. Why do you want her? Instead of
Not only that, but when it's one way.
yes,
See, what I find is the biggest part about a simp is that the energy is only flowing in one direction towards her.
yes,
It's only going towards her. She's the only one benefiting from the relationship. A lot of guys, the term came back around because they start calling guys that sign up for OnlyFans.
yeah,
Girls that did the OnlyFans started calling them simps, the simpletons. Like, in other words, these guys are suckers for following me and paying me, which is so ironic that they would do that. But you're like, oh, okay. So you're basically buying and it's true within that world, whether it's the friend zone, it's always true. If it's only going in one direction, the money's only going to her for her OnlyFans. The attention's only going to her through her friendship. And you're leveraging that because you, like you said, you think you're gonna get the box. Yeah, right away. I can tell you,
absolutely.
you are a simp.
It's the same thing at the strip clubs. But I'm just more like forget OnlyFans, right? Because that's you're selling a fantasy just like strippers. You're selling
Right.
a fantasy and a guy's spending money. I'm talking about in everyday life.
Yeah.
Like when guys were like, hey, you know what? Something happened with you and your boyfriend, and he's always that friend, hey, cry on my shoulder. I'll come and pick you up. I'm bringing you lunch. I'm bringing you dinner. Let's go out. Let's have drinks. And the guy's not benefiting from it. The girl is, which is not wrong. I mean, like that's the guy's fault. I'm like, you're a grown man. I mean, you know what you're getting yourself into, but you keep trying and trying and trying, and it's not working. You use every different angle, and you want that. I'm telling you, it's a status thing, because what women like confident men. If you're not confident, get out of here. That doesn't matter. If you have a lot of money, that might work, but then she's banging another dude on the side, and that's what that is.
Absolutely.
So it still works in her benefit.
Here's one of the things I learned, right? So you touched on it before about non-traditional women that want a traditional man.
Oh, hold on, Mike. Not to cut you off. I'm gonna take a sip of my wine since they're not cutting checks over here for you. So you know my thing right here, bro. Look, cut the check.
Cut the check. There it is.
Cut the check. Then you know what? Then I'll show it.
That's what I'm talking about. Exactly.
Cut the check.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Go ahead.
What do you call? No, so we're talking about non-traditional versus traditional, and it's true. It's like, you touched on something hardcore, and I didn't really kind of like want to go down this avenue, but because you opened it up, it's such an important thing to talk about. It's like in this new dynamic, right? A guy, back in the day, a guy used to be able to use money to manipulate a situation in his home.
Okay.
He used to be,
Yes.
but nowadays women have caught up. They're making their own money.
Absolutely.
So now you can't use money anymore. You know what I mean? So when we're talking about a guy like Russell Wilson, for instance, even though he's rich, but like the new safety and security for a woman is no longer money. Like that's not how you do it anymore. Now it's dreaming together, vision, honesty, all these other things that you got to do. And I feel look at men and I'm like, yo, guys, check this out, man. It's like a job. If your job switches technology, right? Are you going to be stuck in the old technology, or are you going to change and move? You got to move. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like when you said that, it triggered me. I was like, a lot of guys nowadays aren't willing to move. They're still stuck on this is how you're supposed to do this, and it's just not true anymore. So now back to being a simp.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. What are some no-nos? What do you? I know I had asked you to come up with. What are your 5 tips to not being a simp? What are your ways to tell a guy if you have to talk to a young guy, sit him down and be like, "Hey, my man, let me talk to you. Let me give you some game." What would that look like?
Well, it would have to be a young man, like not in relationship yet, or I mean, because for me, a simp varies. Like it goes from marriage, dating, seeing someone, and then also being single.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So a
So he's a
young
single guy. What about for a single guy?
a young single, be less available. Be less available. You know, not every beck and call when she calls.
I
But
like that.
hold
That
on,
was
but wait a
right.
second. But also too is women could be simps too. So that's
Oh
not
yeah.
that's what women could be simps too. But we're talking about the from the man aspect. Yeah, be less available. You don't at every beck and call. Whether and if you have functions with your family and friends, it's okay once in a while to hey, I'm gonna go kick it. But again, communicate that to her from off the jump. Nah, I'm cool. I'm gonna go kick it with my friends. Because once you're available all the time, that's what she expects.
No.
And when you don't do it, and then they get into a not all women, some they get upset, whatever, and then you're there to, hey, I'm sorry, hey, I don't mean it like that, hey, come on, don't get upset. Then she got you. She's like, gotcha, nigga, gotcha.
Yeah, gotcha.
So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to do that. Absolutely, you know, again, prioritize friends and family. You know,
I like what you're saying, right? Because I when I think about that, I'm thinking boundaries.
yeah,
Set your boundaries with the person that you're with, and let them know,
absolutely,
hey, listen, I'm not going to give up this part of my life. I'm not going to change this part of my life. This is what it is. Take it or leave it. A lot of times when people are simping, what they'll do is they'll sacrifice things that they actually love to do. If, for instance, you're like one of the things you love to do was on a Saturday morning get together with your friends and hoop it up, go play some basketball. It was good for you because you stayed healthy. You were active. There was that one day a week you got together with your friends. Nothing crazy.
it's healthy,
And
it's
all
therapeutic.
right, and it's good to be around other guys, to talk and get some vent.
Yes,
And all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, but I wanted to go to Bed Bath and Beyond. Oh, but I wanted to go Home Depot. Oh, and you're like, and like you start leaning towards that and start doing that instead of what your regular routine is. That's an example of within a relationship or within a marriage of simping, because the one thing you need to do is you need to set your boundary,
yes,
make it nice and clear that, hey, listen, it's important that I have my life. It's important that you have your life. And then we'll find something that we both agree on, that we both love, that we both share, that we can bond over. But as
yeah.
far as like leaving and abandoning, see, a lot of people, there's like that narcissistic mentality where they try to pull you away from anything you love. What they're really trying to do is pull you away from any power base you might have. Anywhere you can go to vent, anywhere you can go to talk, they want to be your only existence. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So you got to beware that as a man, you're not being dragged into that either, where she's your world, she's the only person you talk to. You don't really hang with your friends anymore. A couple years from now, she leaves you, you're not with her anymore, and you're looking around, you don't even have boys to hang out with because you left them a long time ago. You know what I'm saying?
Well, relationship wise, that happens all the time. That
Yeah,
happens when
absolutely.
we were kids. It happened when we got older as adults. That, what I'm saying, like a man or a female, they meet somebody, then they disappear. They
Yeah,
disappear
yeah.
for a minute. Once they break up, they come back like, yo, what's up? Trying to kick it. And you're like, nah, bro. Like, well, nah, bro, don't work like that.
Yeah,
Nah,
we got to
man.
start over. We got to start over. We don't even
Yeah,
know you
hold
anymore.
on, man. You missed a lot of time, man. Like, a lot of time put in. Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with that. And then also another thing is stop doing favors. Like everything's a favor. Like, oh, hey, can you do this for me? Can you take me shopping here? Can we go over here? Can you watch my kids? Can you hold on, wait, see dating a woman with kids and you got no kids, that's something else that we'll touch on maybe later on within the hour.
Yeah, for sure, for
But
sure.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into the simp mentality, and there's a lot of dudes that just like the cape. That's their hobby. We like
After
football and
save a hole.
basketball. A lot of dudes, you know what? They throw on their cape, bro. They love it.
You know what? You're absolutely right, bro. You're absolutely right. Um, there, people need to check themselves and see. A lot of times, yeah, you're not just simping because you know you're a nice, great guy. A lot of times, these guys are exactly what you're saying, man. They put on
Yeah.
that cape, that little Captain Save a Hole, and they want
Yeah.
to like all of a sudden come in and swoop in and be a knight in shining armor. What they're not realizing is, Baba, that's not the way in. That's not the way in. If she doesn't respect you, she will not be with you. If she does not look at you and say, I respect him as a man first, she
Yes.
will not be with you. That just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Um, women don't respect the guy with no spine. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? If you are in a situation where a woman keeps coming to you and she has a man, That's a no-no. That's a
Yeah.
no-no. She needs to be able to go to that man. And if she doesn't, she's basically using you for all the qualities and all the things that she should be looking for in a boyfriend. But she's
Yeah.
coming to you for that.
Yeah.
And that's not good, man. That's not a good position to be in because you'll always be viewed as a resource. You'll never be viewed as somebody that they hold in high esteem as far as a couple, as far as wanting to be with you. You will always be a resource, somebody that they can go to when everything else fails, when everything else drops. Now, the sad part about that is you would think, and it does happen, eventually women stop chasing what they want and they accept what they deserve. And then one day they look at this guy and they're like, damn, he's been right here this whole time. And they sometimes they fall in love with him. But a
Yeah.
lot of times, bro, you put in all that work, and I promise you, it goes nowhere. It
Yeah.
goes absolutely nowhere. Yeah, it's like
Yeah. No, absolutely. Because a lot of that is the cause of most breakups and everything is lack of communication. It's communication. That's maybe the key of most out of everything is communication.
communication is the immune system that can fight off any disease in a relationship.
Absolutely.
Anything.
But
There you go. Take that.
but with that is both parties have to understand that constructive criticism.
Absolutely.
You have to be able to take constructive criticism.
You
Even
have
when
to.
yes, again, if it comes across a certain way, but it's mean well, because not everybody, like for instance, like with me, I don't communicate. I communicate, but sometimes I could be harsh. That's just me. Not everybody else. Some people can't communicate or can't say anything or can't that.
I'm going to give you my little spiel on communication, man.
Yeah.
For a woman, communication equals love.
Yeah.
It equals love. It's equal to love. What it means is, we've all been in the situation. A woman comes home from work. She asks you how your day was. You're like, it was pretty good. It was cool. Then you ask her, and she tells you every detail about how this girl ate her lunch and that boss, and she's sleeping with him. I can't stand that. She tells you everything about her day.
Yeah.
Now,
but hold on. I'm guilty of that too, though. I'll tell my lady, I'm like, yo, this dude ain't shit, bro. For real. You know what happened? Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Because sometimes I tell my lady, I'm like, yo, man, she'll be like, what's wrong? I'm like, yo, these motherfuckers. I'm like, But it goes vice versa, man. So which is good. Good. Go ahead.
And that's a sign of a successful relationship or a relationship that's functioning, working on a good level. Because here it goes, right? For a woman, communication equals love. For a man, a lot of times vulnerability is what equals love.
Yeah.
So think about it like this: we can go to anybody. We can talk. We can talk to anybody. Yeah. Where we're from, we grew up. The way we grew up, we can literally have a conversation anywhere. You put us in the middle of the jungle, we'll have a conversation with a bear. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? But we will only be vulnerable with one woman. She's the only one that knows about the scared little boy inside.
Yeah.
She's the only one that knows about the nightmare. She's the only one that knows about the monsters in your head. She's the only one.
Yeah.
And she's the only one that gets that. Now, here's the problem that we face today. The problem that you face today, right? And if you you watch the internet, you get a lot of this. These guys will be on these shows and they'll be talking about how you can't trust women and women.
Yeah.
But then if you're listening close enough, you get to the bottom, you're like, oh, I see what happened here. Here's what happened. One day he was vulnerable with a woman. Mm-hmm. And the woman, instead of saying, oh, okay, I got you, she looked at him and said, yo, man up, bitch. And you know what he did? He grabbed that vulnerability and it crushed his ego and he shoved it down his throat and he never showed anybody else. And now you have these guys that are like, nah, man, you got to be tough. You got to be tough. You got to be tough. No, the truth is, tell the truth. Some bitch hurt you. Excuse me. I don't mean bitch, but I'm talking about.
No, I got it.
What do you call it? Hurt you. And now you're being a sucker because you're like, oh, no, I got to be tough. Check this out. I always tell people, especially when I'm talking to women about relationships, I say this. I'm like, listen, man, if a man is vulnerable to you, there's always this, one of my favorite sayings is, love my darkness, my light is easy to love.
Yeah.
Right? In other words, love that part of me that ain't so much fun, man. Not the one you see on TV or on camera, not the one we talk. Nah, don't love that guy. Love the guy that's, sometimes in his house and is like doubting his existence. Love that guy. If you could do that, then I'm with you. Here's what happens. You show your vulnerability to a woman. If she, in that moment, is not supportive, if she, in that moment, grabs you and says, man up, you literally take her out of the wife box, girlfriend box, and you put her in the fuck around box, I'll never take you serious box. Absolutely. That's exactly what happens in that moment. On the flip side of that, you meet a woman where you're vulnerable, You let her in, and she looks at you and she embraces it. And she says, "Yeah, I see those dark parts of you. I'm gonna love you from there. I
Yes.
got you. I got
Okay.
your back, man. I'm a blessing to your life." Guess what? That woman automatically becomes this. She goes into this box and says, "I appreciate you. I love you." Depending on what your beliefs are, long-term relationship, possible wife. You
But
know
you
what I
see
mean?
what the key word what you just said there? What she
That's
told that man was, did you hear what you said?
yep,
Well, I'm a key part of your life.
yep.
Again, some guys are gonna be like, what? Like, key part of my life.
See,
Uh,
see, what
See,
we look for,
it's the way it's how you deliver things.
is peace. What we
No,
look
yeah,
for is
man, no,
peace.
men look for peace, but could it be also to this is that nowadays, right? Say like the past 10, 15 years,
Hmm.
that the roles are reversed.
Yeah, yeah. It can be. There in
Men are
some
look at
instances, yes.
women are more aggressive in a good way, bad way, however you look at it, and men are more sensitive.
Yes, 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 yes.
But
I
wait a
think that
second. But yeah, but for years, this is what women wanted. They wanted sensitive man. I want you to feel what I'm feeling. I want you to understand. And then the minute that happened, it changed. And now women are like, yo, this dude is soft. Like, what the? Come on, this dude over here crying.
because at the end of
Oh
the day,
man.
they want
But then
balance.
you have women that will try to tell you how to be a man,
Yeah,
which is crazy. I was like, that's banter. That's single mother banter.
how to be
That's
a
just
man.
come on, stop it. It's crazy. I don't tell you how to be a woman. I can tell you what I like in a woman or what I think to me, but I don't tell
Yeah.
you how to be a woman. But this is why how I think like how the simp stuff just turned. Like once that happened 10, 15 years ago, because this wasn't happening in the 90s. This started happening like after like 2005, 2008, that the simp stuff started really happening. Then dudes started dressing weird. They started dressing like women. Women started dressing like men. So the whole thing changed.
I'm gonna say
And then,
this.
and then if you comment on it, people get upset. Like, yo, hey, I'm like, nah, man, you tripping, bro. You tripping. Nah, 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 nah.
I'm gonna
If
say this, right?
yeah,
There is women want balance. They want
yes.
balance. At the end of the day,
No, no, no,
we
no,
can
no.
we
You
can
can't say you
discuss,
can't just say women because you're generalizing. Some women want balance.
yes, yes, but for the show's sake, that's what I like to do. I like to talk about. I always talk about the bell curve,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Where like there's people on this side, there's people on this side, but most people kind of land in the middle. So like they'll relate to what we're saying. So when we say women, we're like a lot of people want balance, okay? And what they want is they're gonna run into a man that is a man. See, the definition of a man is what we really need to work on nowadays. See, I always talk about some friends of mine, right? Where the roles are reversed in their house, and they're the ones at home taking care of the
Mm-hmm.
children, handling a lot of business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the wife makes a shit ton of money and has a
Okay.
great career, right? And the beauty of it is that when we talk within the four walls of that house, they understand each other and they say, you know what? I respect him as a man because the most manly thing he can do in this situation is what's best for our family. See what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like that's where the definitions have to be kind of like shifted. What are we talking about when we say man? What we could break shit, we could fight shit, he could knock. See, that to me, that's one definite, just one definition of masculinity. When I look at a man, I have to look at him. If he has a family, I'm looking behind him. I'm looking what shape his family's in. Your family's not eating, you're not a man to me.
Okay.
Your family's struggling, you're not because not they're struggling not because you're working hard and can't make it, but they're struggling because you're not going giving it your all. You're not a man to me. You know what I'm saying? So like we
Okay.
really have to like, I think that what women want now is they want to push that narrative like, yo, dude, I don't care what kind of guy you think you are in the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of guys that puff their chest and they're monsters in the street and everybody respects them. They're the guy. And then they get behind closed doors and the first thing their wife complains about, their girlfriend complains about is, yo, this guy can't even pay an electric bill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or this guy can't even, yo, dude, how are we later behind on rent?
Yeah.
I can't respect you and call you a man if when I need you most, you're not there for me. So like then you'll have a guy who's super soft, super gentle, super whatever the opposite you might think of a man is. but he's in his house and everything's taken care of.
Yeah.
Everything's handled. The kids look good. Everything's sweet. Everything's on point. And then you look at him, you're like, wow, this guy right here. And if you look at the world, yo, most of the world is not big brolic guys, tough guys, or manly men. Most of the world is just really simple guy, average dudes that just go to work, bust their ass, have to do that.
That changed over the years from when we grew up until now.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
Obviously, yeah, that changed. But again, it depends what the household needs. No, every
That's
household
exactly what it
is
depends on.
different. Every man and woman are different. Every couple's different. Everybody's different. So
They're like snowflakes and fingerprints.
So it's
What works
subjective.
for one couple
What you have in your household might be different in my household. What goes on in your household, as long as you guys could both maintain it together and then come together cohesively and then handle what needs to be handled.
It's all that matters. All that matters is that you two agree. See, here's where the problems start. Where the problems start is when the nosy best friend gets involved, when the family starts to get involved, not understanding that, hey, listen, this is between me and him, and we've agreed to what's happening.
Well, but hold on, but wait though. See, there's pushback. That's different though, because you know what? And you know what I'm talking about, bro. Yo, my guy, bro, you're Latin. So, bro, you know how Latin families, bro, it's different.
Yes, they're very tight knit.
They pry a lot, man. They pry a lot.
Yes.
And then sometimes like you don't want to step on toes, but again, when you're the man of the house, you should be able to do, hey, this is my house. This is how it goes. If you don't like it, don't be here no more. So see, therefore it's like, oh my God, this is my family, my mom, my dad. Hold on, this is my house. So again, is it you want a convenient man or you want a consistent man?
That's a good. I like that. You want a convenient man or do you want a consistent man?
Your mom is doing this, like feeding our kids this. So that's different. That's going into the realm of like marriage and you're together a long time. Right. That's not simp stuff. Like the simp stuff is like going back to it is because we did negate it off the path a little bit, but still, we still got a lot of time to go back.
Conversation. We good.
No, absolutely.
We all good, man. We're gonna touch on a lot of stuff today.
But this is when the simp guy is when the girl's like, oh, she's sick and tired of being sick and tired. Hey, that friend goes and hangs out with him. Always that good friend, gets some drinks, hang out, some dinner, and he's footing the bill. He's telling you, hey, but it's always negative about this dude, but always positive. Even though she can be a fuck up. You're always positive, but he's always a negative. Like, he always hears one side of the story. Hey, come on, let's go out to dinner, or let's get some Starbucks. Let's have a conversation, sit, relax. It's dudes like that. Then you got the simp and pimping, like I told you, guys that always like just trick off some bread and like, yo, I get all these hoes, I smash. I'm like, bro, I smash y'all little bitches. Yeah, but none of these bitches are with you, bro. Like you the side nigga with money.
Basically.
Yeah, that's what you are. You the side nigga with money. You got money and you trick off. You want to trick off buying bottles of wine, popping champagne with models and whatnot. And at the end of the night, you going home lonely.
Empty, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. All that can't buy what you need inside because a lot of it is just the band-aid on emotions that he stitches. You're just trying to really cover up something you can't control. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we got some comments here. What do you call it? One of them is there is soft and so there's soft and sensitive versus soft and feminine energy. Straight women don't want to date a girl. Okay.
Ruby, you're right now. Ruby now she's right with it. You don't want to date a girl. And again, going back to what I said earlier, the roles are reversed.
Problem is carrying that feminine energy into the bedroom and finances is not fair. Is not per hair cost more than feminine products. If his hair products cost more than hers, he got to go. All right, I got you. No, so check this out, man. Yeah. The thing about it is, like I said earlier, man, it's not about this it is about feminine. And so the way I look at it is this, right? You can handle, we just talked about it, you can handle everything in your household. The roles could be reversed and you can still be the man of your house. You could still be the man of your house.
Let me tell you, but the women won't look at you the same, man. Like, let me tell you right now, if you Michael Keaton playing daddy daycare and you're just chilling in the crib and you got nothing going on, because now you could do everything from home. You could work from home because I work from home. You could work from home and have a job.
I agree with
You
that.
handle the
No,
kids,
you're
work
hitting
out.
that on the head.
So
I
that's
100% agree with that
that's
part.
different. Now it's different. Back then it would be different, but now it's
Yeah.
way different. Like, if you got nothing, if you just staying home all day and you don't
Yeah,
got a
there's no
job
excuse.
and your
There's
lady's
no,
out
and
there
that's
working,
the energy that I was talking about. That's the
absolutely.
energy that I was talking about. I was like, if a woman doesn't see that energy going towards the relationship or going towards the home, that's what affects her.
Yeah,
It's not, the role that you have. It's the energy that she does, that the lack of energy that you're investing in this family, in this relationship. It's like, I was talking to somebody not a while back, right? And they came on some hard times. He has a job, she has a job, and they're talking. And for some reason, she's being really hard on him, and she's upset, and he does not understand. And to me, after talking, I look at him and I go, "Hey, my man, present to her this, and this has to come from you. It can't come from me.
yeah. But
Present to her this.
what was the context of it? You can't
I'm
give me a
about to give it to
story.
you. I'm
Come
about
on,
to give it
Steve
to you."
Harvey, bro. You can't give me a story and then like leave it out. Like, oh, yeah, well, just whatever happened.
Now I'm gonna give you a little background before I whatever. They were going through a situation where there was a financial hardship in the house.
Okay.
Okay, there's a financial. If I give too much, people like know really.
No. Just give me
Yeah.
give me a brief
There's a
outline.
financial hardship in the house.
Okay.
He has a job. He makes X. She has a job. She makes Y. Right.
Yeah.
Her Y is just a little bit more than his X.
Okay.
Not a lot, but they're about even.
Are they married?
They're no, but they're kids. A couple years in together. Right?
Okay.
And he's not understanding. Right. He was feeling like all the pressure was landing on him. And he's like, I don't get it, man. I come home, she doesn't want to talk. We don't even have sex. We don't do this. She doesn't want to do that. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. So after conversation, I let him come up with the answer. But I was like, the answer was this. She's not seeing that you're going above and beyond. What a woman wants to know is that you see what she sees. When she's stressing, she wants to know. I'll give you this example, right? A lot of times, I'll throw it on me. If I walk outside, right, and my car doesn't start, and I walk inside the house, and my lady says, "Hey, you want some head?" Guess what I'm getting? I'm getting some head, right?
Mhm.
If your lady goes outside and tries to start her car, and she comes inside, right, and you try to mess around with her, she's gonna look at you dead in the face and go, "Are you effing kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Are you bugging?" Why did she do that? Because we compartmentalize. She's stressing about a lot of different things all at once. You know what I'm saying? Where we could just let it go for a little bit, bring it back, let it go. They kind of it's constantly on the forefront. So what do we have to do as men if we want to make them happy? We want to be in that particular situation. I told him, I was like, she's not asking you to be Superman. She's asking you to let her know that you see what she sees. That it's as scary to you that it is to her what this might imply for your family.
Yeah.
Right? How do we fix that? Well, how about this? You work a full-time job. How about you drive Uber in the afternoon? Right? And now here's the deal. You're gonna go to her.
So she wants him to make more money.
Wait. I'm gonna get to you. I got you.
Okay.
She goes, so I go to her and I go to him. I go, present that to her. Present to her. Just it. So he goes back to her and tells her, "Hey man, look, you know what? I was thinking about it because it made sense anyway." He goes, "I was thinking about it." He goes, "I'm gonna start driving Uber in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? To make some money. Da 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 da." This is how it ended up happening. This is what ended up happening. 5 minutes into the conversation, she looks at him and goes, "You know what, babe? I don't want you to work Uber. That'll keep you out of the house. Don't worry about it. No, I'm glad that you're at least understanding, that more had to be done." That was her argument. Her whole argument was that he was not as stressed out as she was. That's what the entire thing was about.
But also, too, is a pushback again. Did she communicate that to him? What was on her mind?
Women tend to. Women tend to tell us
but
exactly what's on their mind.
Look, I guarantee you, it was all pent up, right? And she didn't tell him. So here, this guy has to be fucking Professor X and think like, oh, what's she mad about? All she had to say was like, hey, you know what? Things are tight. I'm stressed out. We need some more money. That's it. That's it.
I'm gonna say this, right?
There's no, bro. We're not playing charades. It's crazy. We're not playing charades. Again, it comes back to communication. Communicate that. Hey, you know
And
what?
I'm
I'm
going to say
stressed
this
out
to
my
you guys.
job.
Check this out.
You're home. You're working, but hey, I think
After
we need more
surveying,
money.
after surveying 30 women from my book, right?
Yeah.
And after surveying couples that were married 7 years, 15 years, and 25 years,
Yeah.
here's the one thing I realized: women tell you exactly what they need. They say it. You know how it sounds to us? Like bitching and moaning, bitching and moaning, bitching and moaning. Part of my thing is this: as men, we have to learn. It's like fixing the dent, but not addressing the breaks. We need to start taking a more proactive approach and understanding and listening while they're bitching and moaning. Because here goes the problem. The
So wait a
problem is
second. No man is gonna listen when you're bitching and moaning or when you're yelling at them. Because
right.
again,
Here's what
hold on,
happens
wait a
though.
second. Because if a man does it to a woman, we're being aggressive, only aggressive, then it's toxic. That new shit, toxic
You're
masculinity.
absolutely
No, so
right.
therefore, instead, have a conversation. Because if you come at me aggressive, it's not gonna end well. No, because we're not
Here's
gonna.
the deal. Usually the aggression comes right after. So it usually starts off very, very like, hey, very conversational, and then it becomes when she sees you don't respond, then it becomes aggressive. Then it becomes, and I tell you like this: do not fear the bitching in the morning. Don't fear the noise. Fear the silence, because when she stops talking to you, when she stops bitching and moaning,
Yeah,
that means she's mentally checking out. That means she's like, I'm out of here.
yeah,
That's why communication on the other side is so important. Because when a man is quiet, a woman says, "Damn, when I'm quiet, it means I'm mentally checking out. Damn, he must be mentally checking out if he's quiet." So it's our job to let them know, nah, you're good. You know what I'm saying? So don't fear the noise, fear the silence. The
yeah,
silence is what's deadly. It's when she stops. See, it's the yo, you need to look back on any relationship you ever had that
yeah.
didn't end well, and you'll see there was a lot of this, and then one day she just, and you're like, yo, what happened? Now we don't even share, we don't talk, we don't nothing. Oh shit. By that time, she's already gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why, like I always say this, man, and I've lived it, it's the truth, whatever. Women break up with a guy 4 or 5 months before they ever walk out the door.
Yeah.
They leave. They're mentally checked out. When they go quiet and they're no longer calling you and they're no longer coming home and they want you to know every detail of their life. All of a sudden, that communication is going somewhere else. Not necessarily to another man, but just not at you. And if it's not coming at you, it means the love is not coming your way. You know what I mean? And then the sex problems start and all that other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we have to make sure if that's one of the things, communication for a woman equals love. We got to understand that when she stops communicating, the love is stopping.
Man, let me tell you right now, Mike, bro. Woo, buddy, I love it. Man, you got your cape on, your boot, man. You got your suit on, my nigga. Look, you like
Let me tell
you
you
ready.
something. It's funny.
Look, you ready, boy. Nah, I love it though, man. That's
I
great, man.
walk I walk a fine line, right? I
Yeah,
walk a very fine line, and it's like one of those. I'm like a walking paradox, I guess you call it. I don't know what the actual
yeah.
term is for it. Where like I talk a lot of sensitive, nice. I believe in all that. I believe in love. That's why I call myself the hopeful romantic. I believe in all the beautiful parts of it. Yet, ask anybody who's ever been with me, they'll tell you flat out, yo, Mike has a hard line as far as like what's acceptable behavior, what's not
Absolutely.
acceptable behavior.
Yeah,
As far as I always tell people one of my favorite things to say is, you want to break up with me, yell at me in public. You yell at me in public, bro. I'm looking at you like you never existed, like
yeah,
it never happened. You
yeah,
know what I mean? I'm walking away like, hey, we good. Like you don't exist. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? There's certain hard rules that I have. You know what I'm saying? And I just keep them. But on the flip side of that, I'm also very in tune. I remember I grew up with all women in my house.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I have that
Absolutely.
angle. With moms and all that stuff. So I look around and I've seen the insensitivity of men and how it affects women. And then on the flip side of that, uh, I've seen how for especially if you don't grow up with a father. Like I didn't grow up with a dad, so like I literally had to figure this man thing out little by little. And I've made my mistake. Exactly what you're saying about the cape. Yo, that cape that I put on in the past. Yo, sometimes that should come back to bite me because it's like, no, my man. In this scenario, that only works in certain scenarios
Oh
with
no, of course,
good
no.
women.
I know that.
You feel
I
me?
was waiting for you to explain that because
Yeah,
of
with
course it's gonna
good women.
come
That
back
only
and
works
bite you.
with good women. If you put that cape on with the wrong woman, she looks at you like I said before, like a resource. Oh, you're a simp now. You become that simp.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Very easily, very fast.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to make sure that even in your kindness, like I always say, my kindness is their weakness. I will spoil you emotionally, but I can't give you financially, but I will spoil you emotionally. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? I will make sure that you have all the communication you need. I'll make sure that like your feelings, you're being heard, all that stuff.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like you said, man, and it's the truth. It's the hard truth. Even in this day and age, Chris Rock said it best. He said, um, dogs, babies, and women are loved unconditionally.
Absolutely. Men are
Men
not.
are loved conditionally.
Yes,
We are
absolutely.
loved conditionally. We are loved based on what we can bring to the table. If there's an
Absolutely.
emergency and we're useless, they don't love us. If in that emergency we're useful, they love us.
Now, is that fair? If I'm at the table and my side is leaning, is that fair?
No,
So
no,
then,
it's not.
so then, how should a man? See, he could be a good man, whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
and then you're looking at that. But again, then it'll go back to, oh well, you're the man though. You're supposed. No, no, we're not doing that now. We're not. It's 2022. There's no. You're supposed to.
Right. No, and that's the narrative. That's the narrative that we're fighting now. It's like, yo, before men weren't allowed to tell you how they felt. You know what I'm saying? Like they talked about even in The Sopranos, they used to talk about uh, Gary Cooper and how he never shared his emotions. And you're like, oh, okay, I get what he's saying. Nowadays, you're allowed to speak your piece. You're allowed to speak your piece. You're allowed to say, hey man, this is not cool. This is not fair. This is not right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where before you had men didn't complain. Men came home from work, they shut the hell up. They were lucky they got the big piece of chicken, da da da. But you know what they were also doing? You ever look at men from back in the day, and unfortunately not all men, but a lot of them, they were very grumpy, bro. They were very
Yeah.
they weren't walking around the
Absolutely.
house all chipper. You know
No,
what I'm saying? They used
but then also too, that's how they portrayed them. You know what I'm saying? So that's like, okay, yeah. But back then is all right. The man works, so when you come home, the women's taking care of it. I don't believe in that. I never believed in that. I'm like, yo, hey, we're both working, right? We're both together. We're both
Mhm.
striving to make a home. So if it don't fall on me, it falls on you. If it don't fall on you, it falls on me. So it's that right there is like the each one teach one. You know what I'm
Here's the
saying?
thing. Here's the thing, right? And and maybe you could agree, maybe you disagree. Unfortunately, as much as we try to go, let's say 50-50,
Yeah.
the emotional weight of the family usually lands at her feet. So like think about it like this, yo, you could be the best dad in the world, the best mom in the world,
Yeah.
all that stuff. But like a lot of times the temperature of the house and what's going on in the house is dictated by how she's moving, how she's
Okay.
feeling.
Yo,
You
not
know what I
everything,
mean?
not no, it's never gonna be 50-50, but at least you want it closer to when it was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you at least it's gonna be a little maybe 60-40, the depending. Again, for me, is a lot of people, a lot of men grew up without their fathers. For me, I grew up without my mom.
Mhm.
My father raised me, so I look
Yeah.
at things totally different.
Yeah, yeah. You see the
Like,
whole other. It's
yeah,
like
like
I'm looking
I
in the
see
mirror right
like,
now. You see the flip
especially
side.
my
Yeah.
father was a black man, so and that's a whole other conversation with like, yo, black fathers don't take care of the kids. For me, I'm like, yo, that's blasphemy. That's crazy.
Right, right, right.
You know what I'm
Especially because
saying?
you
Like, you know
witness.
what I'm saying? So that I mean, that's another episode. But yeah, man, every household is different. Every
Absolutely.
marriage is different. Every relationship is different. It's what you want to put up with, what you don't want to put up with. If your
It's a
lady
choice.
works, if your lady makes more money than you, and you make good money, but not as much as her, embrace it, yo. That's like, hey man, hey, good for my lady. She's making money because we're together. We're a unit. I can never get
Right.
mad if my lady makes more money than me. That's crazy. That's crazy
No,
talk.
and you know what? You see, that's new age thinking though, because before that was like a no no. I had a conversation with somebody just the other day, Fred. I had a conversation just the other day, my boy Fred, and he was like, I go, yo, so in a situation like this where you make more money and she makes more money than you,
Yeah.
and this is what's best for the family. Now you could live in this nice house and this and this and this is how you could live. Nah, I'm the man. No, no, man, no way. I could never let my lady. I'm looking at him like, oh, okay, all right. But in
Yeah,
my
that's
head, I'm
crazy
like,
talk right there.
huh?
That's
Is what?
crazy talk right there. I can never let my lady.
I could never let my lady.
See, that's
I
a
was
key
just like,
word. I can never let my
let.
lady.
You're like, whoa, bro, what do you mean? No, that's exactly. I was just like, yo, my man. What you're not understanding is again, it goes back to his definition of masculinity. In his mind, man equals I take, I kill the meat, I break the, I start the fire. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, that's
Why
not
can't you go hunting together?
that. And that's what nowadays. You know what? What do you feel about what do you feel about those women that nowadays are out there? There's a lot on the internet that'll be like, nah, I need him to make X amount of money and to pay for everything.
You know what that is? Again, majority of those girls are girls with no education. Their upbringing is probably from a single mother
Oh,
that she learned those traits from her, probably trickled down from the grandmother. And she don't, you know what, there's no guidance there. The dad could have been in her life, maybe comes sees visits here and there, maybe he's locked up, maybe he's not, maybe he didn't want to disown the kid, whatever the case may be. Those are the type of women that talk crazy like that. For instance, say you're a beautiful girl, you want a man who makes $300,000 a year, $1 million a year. What are you bringing to that table for him to even pick you? Well, I mean, what do you? Oh, I could clean, I could cook. He can hire somebody to do it. He got
I
that type
think
of money. I mean, can you bring conversation again? Like you said earlier, can you bring peace? Do you know your role? Because again, these women that want men like this, they don't accept their role. Again, you're number two, or maybe you might be number three, maybe four or five. But now these are jump off girls that talk like that. These are not real women that are educated, who have their own career. You know what I'm saying?
I
Those are not
find that women with their own career and their own situation, all they're looking for is a man to match them. They're not looking for a guy to go above and beyond, go crazy. They're like, yo, match my hustle. Not
Oh,
necessarily. You
okay.
don't even have
Okay.
to
See,
reach
now when
my
you talk
pinnacle.
about women like that, okay, see, that's different.
Yeah,
Now, if a woman has a hustle and a drive like this, you want to be compatible with a guy like that. So now,
right.
two hustlers in the same household. I mean,
Tough,
does it
tough.
work? I mean,
Yeah,
it can work. I mean, it's two alphas. See,
right,
one's gonna have to concede. So who's it gonna be?
right, right. And that's when egos get bruised.
Yeah,
And when egos get
absolutely,
bruised,
absolutely,
people check
absolutely.
out.
That's why, like, why date somebody who's exactly like you? A lot of women date dudes who are almost comparable to their dads. Men date women who are almost comparable to their moms.
Mm, yeah.
So
I
it's
go ahead.
yeah. Go ahead,
No,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. No, I'm just thinking, right? It's funny that we're saying this because like we just talked about how when most women nowadays they just want you to match, like you said, like match their hustle. Just show me that you're putting the same amount of energy into being successful, into reaching a goal or a dream that I'm putting in.
You're
See, a
right,
lot
but
of times with those
again,
women,
though, what is their hustle? You
no,
understand
no,
what's
no.
up? Is it a corporate hustle, or is it, hey, I'm an IG model, I'm a hustle, I'm a stripper hustle? No, because you really have to break it down. Because again, when you use generalization, people are like, well, that could be no. If you have to be, hey, she's a career woman, right? She's a lawyer.
Right,
She's hustling. She's hustling. She's getting cases. So she's not gonna date a dude who's who's out here doing like some bullshit. What are you bringing to the table? Are you making the same money or just as much? What is your drive? You have dreams and aspirations over here. What is it? If we're gonna build together, because you can't down someone's inspiration and dreams if you ain't got nothing for you.
if
If
you
you
got
ain't got
nothing on it, yeah,
nothing,
absolutely.
you can't be like, come on, that's bullshit. Come on, really? Nah, you can't be like that, bro. And a lot of people are. Like again,
Right,
like
absolutely.
going back to these girls that are on like Fresh and Fit podcast. I'm like, yo, come on, man. These really,
He
come on.
knows who he picks. That
I
that
know
that that whole show,
absolutely.
that whole show rubs me the wrong way because I watch him basically handpick the type of girl that he wants there. And then when you get one girl, right,
Yeah,
that kind of comes back to him with any kind of real decent response or any kind of sane response that a normal, decent woman would give.
yeah.
Oh no, you're talking back, get out. You're like, brother,
Yeah,
who hurt you?
exactly.
Who
So,
hurt you?
so just like you know, what I'm saying, I didn't mean to name drop them, but see, like dudes like that, and even there's so many other people that are on
Tons, tons.
on everything, and it's just and it goes both ways. You have the manosphere, the women's sphere, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
It just is that, and I think like for instance, like your podcast right now is how you have women on, you have men on, and you're speaking, and you're getting, different. You know, you're just getting
Trying to get both angles.
different
All right,
conversation.
when I started this, here's a couple of things. Here's a couple of things that I wanted to make sure happen.
Yeah.
Number one, I ain't shit. I haven't been shit in my life. I've fucked up. I've been an asshole. I've been great. I've been both. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to being a man. So I want that clear out there. I never want to come from like preaching from the pulpit like I'm some kind of like no, that's not me.
Yeah,
I'm coming to you real like, yo, I've cheated. I fucked up. I did this. I did all that. Okay, cool. Now that's off the table. The second part is this. I never wanted to be where we're talking to women, right? And they don't get a voice in the situation. I want them to be able to say, no, Mike, that's not true. And I'm cool
absolutely.
with that. As many theories as I have, as much research as I try to do, at the end of the day, I'm not a woman. So I'm gonna have to concede and be like, okay, if that's what you're telling me, cool. You know what I'm saying? What I won't do is let a woman explain me. Just don't woman explain me. As long as you don't do that, we're fine. On the flip side of that, I want to talk to men with different perspectives. I want to talk to a guy like you. You come off, you're an alpha male. You have your standards, you have your ways about you. You understand what your interaction with a female should look like, what you want from it, what you expect from it, right? And
But
then
all that for me is because it's all subjective and it's my opinion. And
right.
like I've done, like you know what, like I always tell people like, bro, I'm when I speak from experience. I'm not perfect. Never I
work
try
in
to
progress.
like I like to joke
progress,
around and BS, but then I get serious. But then also too is like, yo, I'm like, bro, I tell everybody knows. Like, for me, I'm a charming asshole, bro. I love me some me, and that's how I've always been.
I like
That's
that.
how I've always been. Now, people might not like it. They can see whatever you want, but I'm like, hey, but you know what? I've always been consistent with who I am. Since everybody knows me, I've always been
we are so
consistent.
North Bergen. Somebody just said we are so North Bergen.
So North Bergen. Absolutely. Absolutely North Bergen. Yup.
Clap it up for North Bergen.
Salute to Shells.
And here's the thing. The thing is this. I'm going to end up talking to men who fall on all levels of that spectrum.
Yeah.
There's going to be guys that, are the new metrosexual. The new guy that wants to talk about his feelings and emotions and all that new era. That's cool. I'm going to talk to him. And I want to hear him out. And I want to hear what he has to say. And I'm going to talk to, the guy that says, F that shit. Be a man, man. I'm going to talk to him. The key is to talk to everybody and talk to gain knowledge and information, not to talk to spit an agenda. Like I feel like these guys, first of all, here's the thing, guys. A lot of them have become characters of themselves. If you watch a lot of the early stuff that some of these guys did, they weren't like that. And then all of a sudden they realize, oh, this makes me money. I'm going to lean into this and I'm going to become a bigger asshole, or I'm going to become a little more rude, or I'm going to become a little more whatever. And I always said to myself, I'm like, listen, man, the one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to try to be honest with myself. Yeah. And I'm going to be true to myself. I'm not going to, if I change, the devil wins. Yeah. If I change, the devil wins. This is what's going to get me to the show. This is how I'm going to be. And I'm going to continue. I'm not going to let these narratives of, no, that's not going to happen. Not here. But
also too is a lot of these people, they compromise for a bag, man. So you know what? They'll do the fucking the shuffle
drive, yeah.
bag. So again, see, this is another thing that I said earlier. I'm like, bro, be yourself. Understand who you are first. Because if you don't understand who you are first, bro, then don't be a clown for anybody else, man. It's because it's BS. You want me to song and dance? Oh, you want me to talk like this? Oh, okay, for a bag. Oh yeah, let me do it. I'm like, why, bro? You're compromising, bro. Then your morals change, your pride's gone.
Absolutely.
So a lot of things happen in that.
All right, guys, we're gonna start next segment. We're gonna start red flag, no red flag. So we've been doing a lot of red flag, no red flag for men. I mean, for women about men. So I was interested to know what is Ty's thoughts on red flag, no red flag. Tyson, red flag, no red flag. You go over, you spend the night at a girl's house.
Yeah.
You go to her bathroom, and on her
bathroom's dirty.
No.
Bathroom, wait. Her bathroom dirty under the toilet. Wait. Under the toilet and behind the toilet. She got a ring around. She got a ring around the tub. Hey, you know the plastic part at the bottom of the plastic part? It's all like it has like smelly residue. Red flag. Oh Lord. No, go ahead.
You go to her house, right? And in the bathroom cabinet, you open it up and you look, and she has a series of antibiotics, like a series that she's currently taking. Series, you could tell, like it's day 1, day 2, and she's on like day 4.
Hold
Red
on, you
flag,
know
no red
what?
flag.
I'm hold on. Let me explain that because you know what? That's just basic, like yes or no. That's some shit like lawyers ask on court. Like, no, bro, I can't give you a yes or no. What happens is, first of all, if you feel the need to go and look in a chest cabinet, that's a problem right there. That's a problem. Then just leave. If you gotta use a bathroom and you looking for shit, vice versa,
Like, let
that's
me
a
give.
problem.
Hey, Ty, let me give you some advice, bro. Always look. Always
Okay,
look.
okay, but hold on. If you just met this chick, right?
Yes, yes,
And
yes,
you
yes.
go back
That's a
to
good
her
point.
crib, first night,
Yeah, yeah.
and you about to smash. So now maybe wear like 1 or 2 rubbers, bro. Like, don't mouth kiss. Like, there's a couple of things. She might got a cut in the mouth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, nah, bro. There's so many red flags there that's
You
just
walk out of
crazy,
there with the
bro.
gift that keeps on giving. Nothing like a
Yeah,
little
I
herpes,
mean,
huh?
but if you gotta look through so many shit like on the first night, that's crazy.
Well,
That's crazy.
usually, if you're there on the first night, you've already made a series of bad decisions. You know what I'm saying?
No,
It's
no,
either,
no,
not to
absolutely.
say that
But
it's a
hold on,
bad
but
thing, but like
wait a second. We all been there though,
that's what I'm
because
saying. Like usually, you're
that's
already a couple of bad decisions in. You're pretty much, you know what I mean. So you gotta like, it has to be
yeah,
something that really catches your eye for
absolutely.
you to be
Oh, and
like,
by the
oh
way,
hell no.
just to let people know, yo, off top, like when I was 16, 17, yo, I was a simp too. I was like, yeah, hey man. Hey, my man Jimmy DeGeras, I don't know if he's in the chat, but he knows what I'm talking about, bro. Like, so yeah, man, like, yo, and you just
We've all
live
been
and
there.
learn, bro. You live and learn.
Shit, some might say I was just recently. Who
Man.
knows, man? But all right. So okay, another red. Let me give you a red flag, no red flag.
Okay.
Red flag, no red flag. Baby daddy, you're laid up with her, and baby daddy consistently calls after 10 o'clock p.m.
At night or 10 in the morning?
At night, night,
Like,
night.
is she making breakfast and dinner?
No, no, no. PM, PM. It's 10 p.m. You guys are just snuggled watching TV, and he's consistently calling past 10 o'clock at night. Red flag, no red flag.
No, they have the kid together. So if he's calling, it's up to her. So for me,
That's what I'm saying.
hold on, this is not my lady. I'm not tripping. I don't care how many times he
No, no,
calls.
no. It's your lady. It's the girl you
Oh,
started
my lady, and
dating.
he calls at
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. You're dating. Red flag, no red flag. Now you're looking at her like, do I continue with this chick or do
Okay,
I,
no, check this out. The how old are the kids?
12, 13?
If I'm dating her, then right for a period of time, then I know then I know what time he calls. So if I first dated him the first month and like we're together and he does it, I'm like, yeah, that's a red flag. But if I know the MO already, I'm like, then I'm not tripping. I don't care. If he's consistent with calling at that time, I'm not tripping.
I always find it like this, man. I got two rules. This is a hard one, and a lot of times people don't understand it. But I'm like, if your baby daddy ain't on child support, I don't fuck with you. Why? Because check this out. This is what I found. This is just me. This is just a personal thing. What I found is that the unnecessary contact starts to happen, and if there's unnecessary contact, like they're still in that yelling and screaming phase, and you're not giving me the money. There's a
Oh,
reason why she just has it.
see, that's different. See, you didn't put it. You just said if he's calling 10 o'clock at night. So if I'm dating her and I
Boundaries.
see that, look, if I see that the first week and feel like, yo, that's my lady. First of all, before that's your lady, you've been with her for a while already. Before that's your
Mm-hmm.
lady, so you should know already. So
Yeah.
if you're going into that knowing that, that's a red flag. But if he just starts calling out of the blue when you're together, then that's different.
Right. You
Yeah.
gotta. I always believe in boundaries. You gotta set boundaries. You gotta let them know. Hey,
Yeah.
listen, man. Let's be honest.
But
Unless
again,
it's an
set those
emergency.
boundaries in the beginning.
Yeah, you got to. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Unless it's something serious,
Yeah.
what's there to call after 10? There's
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Unless it's something emergency, there's nothing to talk.
Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to know. Did you get the baby the top? Yo, it's 12 o'clock at night. What are you doing? Nah.
Yeah.
But okay, so that was we're coming up on an hour, so I like to keep it there. So
Okay.
Ty, man, I want to say thank you. I really appreciate the conversation.
Absolutely,
Obviously,
sir.
you already know. I'm bringing you back on. We have a whole bunch of
Absolutely, man.
avenues.
It's a blessing to be here, bro. I appreciate it, my man.
We still got a bunch of avenues we need to explore that we're going to go down. And it's so funny because as we were talking, we opened little doors and then we close them back up as we
Yeah,
were
we did.
talking.
Yeah, we
And
did.
I'm
Yeah,
like, you know
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Okay, mental register, write that down because we talked about black fathers. We talked about, what do you call it? Just relationships in general. There's a lot there, man, a lot of meat potatoes. And I would love to hear what your thoughts are on that. So with that, ladies and
Absolutely.
gentlemen, yo, you want to say anything to the audience, man? Just
Hey, you
give
know
them a
what?
shout.
Whoever tapped in, man, is thank you so much. It's beautiful. I see people in the chat, Suzanne, your sister Michelle, Carlos, everybody who tapped in, bro. Thank you. Hey, go check this dude out. He's the real deal. Hey, you know what? He gonna be up there making Oprah money before you know it. He's gonna be on there, bro. He be on them platforms. Let's go, bro. It's love, man.
All right.
The
And with that,
whole
ladies and gentlemen,
romantic, even though he be making them simp books,
the Simp books.
he captures you in, then he tells you the real deal. But hey, man, it's beautiful, man. Thank you for having me. I love you, Mike, man, and I'm interested to see the next book. Hey, you never know, bro. In 5 to 10 years, bro, it might be a movie about you, bro, on Netflix.
Hey, you never know. You
You know what
never
I'm
know.
saying? But I love you, bro. Stay blessed. Stay up.
Appreciate it.
All right, brother.
Appreciate it, my brother.
Thank you.
No doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining the Hope for Romantic podcast. The Hope for Romantic M.A.N. podcast. When you look it up, make sure you put that in there. The Hope for Romantic M.A.N. podcast. And I always like to close my show with these words. Ladies and gentlemen, the two most important days, according to Mark Twain, the two most important days of your life are the day you were born and the day you discover why. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for being with me tonight. This has been Simping Ain't Easy, episode 7, season 1 of the Hope for Romantic podcast. I am your host, Mr. Dropping Dimes, a.k.a. the Hope for Romantic, a.k.a. the feminist with chauvinist tendencies. And I am out of here. Take it easy, people.